Hello and welcome back to my 1950 Willys Jeepster build. So I've been really thinking about this. While I've got the body off, I keep staring at this vent. There's a cold air cowl vent that's right in front of the windshield on these. It's kind of a neat idea, but because of what I'm planning on doing with the Jeepster, I don't need it. It's kind of in the way, and I don't like the look of it either. I don't plan on using it. And everything I'm planning on doing to the dash and maybe a console, and I'm not going to be able to use it even if I wanted to. So I think I've convinced myself that I need to weld over this hole. So in order to do that, I need to cut this flange off. And then there's some brackets underneath here that I won't be needing. I need to cut those off. And then I'll grind it over smooth and weld it up. It had two thicknesses, an inner sheet and an outer sheet. They were crimped up around to create a thick seal for the top when it flapped down on top, and it had a rubber seal around it. I have to sand back some of this paint now and cut me a sheet, and then when I weld this in, I'm going to leave enough area where I can get a good weld to go through both sheets and the top sheet, hopefully all at once. Even if I just end up with some spot welds that tack and hold the two together, I just don't want them vibrating and rattling. Alright, I need to cut me a pattern for this, actually cut the metal and start tacking it into place. You ever bought really cheap masking tape and then regretted it? Okay, there's my pattern. Transfer that onto a sheet of metal, cut it out. Okay, how did I do? Ah, excellent. Man, you'd think I knew what I was doing. Alright, I will start by just putting a few tacks all around the edge of this, and then I can get these magnets out of the way and burn it in. Have it all welded in, ground it all down. I see a few little pinholes here and there I'm going to go back and weld in. Anytime you're welding on a panel this flat and this big, expect to warp. I mean, I worked hard to try to keep this as cool as I could. Probably what might have helped if I had just put some cold rags on here. It sunk right here a little bit, and it popped up right here a little bit. This is where it's really good if you know how to shrink and stretch metal. I like to use a torch. I can heat this area up that's popped up, get it red hot, tap it down, quench it cold. It strengthens the metal, it pulls the molecules together, it'll sink this down. Well, to my surprise, I was able to just keep working from the backside. I have access to most of the backside. There's a brace right here, which was kind of hard to work around. Another one over here. But I was able to get that. Everything on this side is perfect. I have just a teeny bit of a low spot right here. But that's where that brace is, and I think I can get behind that brace. You can see it's oil canning on me. And just hold that up. And work the edges of it, and I should be able to get that to stop. And there it goes. And then once I get a skim coat of filler on this and some primer, this side's good. This side, it started to move quite a bit as well. As I kept working here where the brace is, I've got just a little bit of a high spot right here, and that's it. So I will work around that and see if I can lower it down and not having to use the torch. It's popping back and forth enough that I may have to torch it. So I'll keep working it and see if I can get it to stay down. It's a never-ending battle. I've got to shrink this. I've got to heat it up and get it to shrink. So as I heat this up, it'll raise, get higher and higher and higher. And it's a little freaky. I get it to change colors. Close. It's still high right here. Well, I was able to shrink this area down. Feels really good. Got that down, and then it dropped right here. So I'm going to see if I can coax that right back up. Give you an update on where I am. I'm just chasing this high spot all the way across the panel. I had a high spot right here, a low spot here. I've been working them. I've got it to where there was a real bad spot here. I've got that worked down, and then it popped up here, and then it popped up here. So I'm just going to end up chasing this high spot all the way down to this edge. But now I've got a high spot right here. So I've got all the rest of this feeling great, looking great. Now I've just ended up with a bubble right here. I'll get that now. That feels pretty good. I should be able to work it now. It gets all lumpy, but it's tight and solid. So then it's just a matter of getting a dolly on the back side and just working that around. Well, let's see how I finally did, because this one was insane. Finally. Craziest high spot I've ever chased. All the way across the panel, clear down to this edge. And there's a low spot right here that is just in the curvature of the body. So there's nothing I can do about that. Fortunately, it's not very far off. It's only 1/16 of an inch low right here. So I could split this panel, bring it up, and then re-weld it. But I'm not exactly sure how it's going to fit up to the hood either. So there might be other areas I need to change. Maybe I'll change the contour of the hood. Maybe I'll change the contour of this firewall. But I finally chased this high spot all the way off the edge. So this is done. I knew this was going to be tough because of this big flat area. I knew I'd be chasing some high and low spots just because of the heat, but way worse than anything I've ever dealt with. But it's doable. You get to the point where you want to just cut the whole thing out and put in new metal, but just keep working it, torch, bumping it, and it's finally done. Probably 4 hours to do this whole area, including welding in that pat. So it's not too bad. $100 an hour at a shop, $400? Yeah, it's worth it. All right, well that's it for this area. This is probably the biggest, most labor-intensive area I have on the actual body. The doors And these jams, since the latches are all worn out, I'll be cutting those out and putting in some bear claws. So those are going to take some time. But rockers, all the back end of this body, it's solid, no rust. I've got a couple of little minor dings, so it's just a matter of removing all the paint, fixing a couple of dings, and getting a heavy coat of primer on it. And then I can just block it all down. So like I said, other than the bear claws, don't have a whole lot of work left to do on this body shell. Now the nose is another whole nother project. I'm going to end up doing a lot of work on the nose. I don't like the way it fits. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way the gaps are around the hood. I don't like the lines on the fenders versus the hood. So I'm going to do a lot of modifying, a lot of custom work. Who knows? I might get too carried away. I might just try to simplify it. This is a lot of work. I'm going to have to do a panel like this. And when I'm redoing a hood, if I want to nose the hood, I want to clean up some of those gaps and some of those lines, that's a lot of work. So stay tuned. That's coming. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.